Hello and welcome you all to the UPSC Being. We have started a video series in which we are covering the fundamentals of all GS subject based on NCERT and recommended authors like M. Lakshmikant for polity, Ramesh Singh and Sanjeev Verma for economics, and so on. So, in a chronological way, we will cover the basics of each and every subject using interactive technique of teaching, where we will give you an MCQ and you can pause your video and give the answer. And later, the fundamental concept that is associated with that MCQ will be explained to you all. So, this video series will have 16 sets and 80 MCQs in totality, because what we believe is in quality over the quantity. So let's begin with economics set 1, question number 1. And the question number 1 is associated with the factor of production. We have given you 3 factors and you have to tell among these 3 factors which factor is associated with the factor of production. And the options are A, the fixed capital and the working capital, B, the working capital and the human capital, and C, fixed capital and human capital, and D, all above factor are the factor of production. I will suggest you to pause the video and answer within 45 seconds, because that is the standard time you get in your examination hall. So now we proceed toward the right answer, and the right answer is D. These all 3 factors are the factor of production. So the concept associated with this MCQ is the factor of production, as well as all these 3 mentioned factors will also be explained in the next slide. So in this slide you can see there are one person that is plugging some fruit from a tree. There's another person that is watching that particular person while they are working on a farm for these production, whereas in the background you can see there's a man that is taking some fruits or some vegetables via a machinery toward warehouse. So in a particular picture you can see all the 4 factor of production working together in order to produce something. First factor, that is working hard and plugging these fruit, is known as the labor. The land where he is working on that farm is known as the land. That is the second factor of production. Third factor is the capital. The capital that is invested by this person, that is the entrepreneur, in order to carry out the day-to-day as well as the long-term activity of production, that is the capital of the business. And this capital is also further divided into 2 parts. First is the fixed capital and another is the working capital. And at last, entrepreneurship or the entrepreneur, the one who invests in all these things, the one who bear all the risk just in the hope of profit, that person is the entrepreneur, and this factor is the entrepreneurship, and he is the one who employs all these factor of production in order to do the production of goods and services. So what are the factor of production? Factor 1 is the labor, factor 2 is the land, factor 3 is the capital, and the one who employ all these factor is the entrepreneur. The concept of production and the factor of production is clear. Moving toward second thing, as I told you, the capital is further divided. That physical capital is further divided into fixed capital and working capital. Let's talk about these 2 things. Talking about the fixed capital, the land that he is bought for building the farm, that is going to be in permanent nature, and the benefit that he is going to get from it, that will be for a longer period of time. So such kind of investment is known as the fixed investment. While in the background you can say that person that is driving the vehicle, and that vehicle is using some kind of fuel, and the expenditure of that fuel is known as working capital. So working capital is that kind of investment or that kind of expenditure that you do in order to carry out day-to-day activity of the business, while the permanent nature kind of expenditure, the benefit of which is availed over a longer period of time, like this machinery, like this land. So these are called the fixed capital. So the concept of fixed capital and working capital is clear. The four factor of production are clear, and no production can be done without combination of these: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur in this world. Moving further toward the next question. The question is associated with the green revolution. In this question, I have given you three options, three phenomena, and I'm asking you that which of these three phenomena is associated with the green revolution. And the option that I gave you is the option number A1, that is one only, depletion of groundwater. The option B is saying that 1 and 2, that depletion of groundwater as well as the loss of soil fertility is associated with the green revolution, while C is saying that 2 and 3, loss of soil fertility as well as the air pollution is associated with the green revolution, while D is saying that all these three factors that are mentioned above are associated with the green revolution. So I would recommend you to pause the video and answer the right of whatever answer you know. I'm moving forward toward the right answer, and the right answer is D. All these three phenomena is associated with green revolution. Now the concept arises, what is green revolution and what are all these three phenomena? Might be you know about green revolution and even you have heard about these first two phenomena, but the third phenomenon that is contrary to what we have learned in the biology, that the plants are the one which purify the air, plants are the one which generate the oxygen, and here we are learning that the green revolution has caused the air pollution. What is this? So let's learn about these concepts in the next slide. That all three statements are correct. Statement 1 and statement 2 are commonly known. As you know, that green revolution has led to the depletion of groundwater. How? The modern machineries were introduced and the cropping season was also reduced. The time frame between the cropping season will be reduced, and now the farmer need not to rely on the monsoon rain. They can dig from ground and irrigate the farms, while the loss of soil fertility is because of excessive use of the fertilizers and various chemicals like pesticides and herbicides. But still the point 3, that is air pollution, still this concept remain silent. To understand this, that how green revolution has caused air pollution, we're moving toward the next slide, where you can see a picture. There's a farmer that is burning his field. This is often seen in the UP, Western UP especially, and Haryana and Punjab after harvesting of crop. Now question arises, why they do this? And the simple answer is, in this, especially in Haryana and Punjab, there is a law that is known as the Preservation of Subsoil Water Act, where the government has determined that the government will tell you a date, and before that date you cannot irrigate your farm from the groundwater. And why this act is passed? This act is passed so that the timing of irrigation can be coincidence with the monsoon rain. As I have mentioned, I have highlighted that thing. And because of these laws and regulations, the time frame between the Kharif and Rabi crops has been reduced to almost 15 days. That once the Kharif session is over and next cultivation is done, the farmer has barely 15 days in hand to cut the crop and then further cultivate the crop, make the farm ready for the next crop, and these 15 days are not enough. So the cheapest and the quickest way for farmer to do this is they burn down the remaining residual, what is left after the harvesting, and this is the cheapest for them, which has caused the great damage to the environment. And recently has caused too much pollution in the northern zone, as you may have heard about fog in Delhi. This is because the concept that is smog in Delhi, and this is all because of these burning that is done by these farmers. So air pollution is also a phenomenon that is associated with the green revolution, which does not exist before this thing. The smog condition does not exist before 1960s, and the green revolution happened in late 1960. and the father of green revolution was Sir Norman. Moving to a next question that is associated with the your income and human capital. I've been giving you two statements and you have to tell which is the right statement. Statement number one says that if there is a rise in income, I give you situation either individually or population. You can think on both things. If there is a rise in income, it leads to the increase in human capital. Second statement is human capital is must for making physical capital workable. Which of the statement above is or are correct? First option is first statement is correct. Second statement is correct. C option says that these two statements both are correct, while D says neither one neither two is correct. I will suggest you to pause the video as we are moving forward toward the right answer. And the right answer is B. Only second statement is true. So let's talk about what is true. Here, second statement is true. Human capital is must for making physical capital workable. As I told you in MCQ number 1, that a person is needed in order to employ rest of things. No matter how advanced your AI get, how advanced the machinery get, there is always a person working behind that capital to work. As there was an example, a man was driving a vehicle in order to transport that food. Suppose imagine a situation where machines are working continuously without human effort, like in car manufacturing. But still, a human is needed to regulate those computer programming and continuously monitoring those things. So, without a human capital, it's not possible to make physical capital workable. So the second statement is clear. Not talking about the statement number 1. If your income rises, either of individual or of population, it will lead to human capital, increase in human capital. This is totally false. Why? Because if the government or if an individual is going to invest in the education, then only skill will create, then only there is going to increase in productivity, as well as if there is investment in health of individual or population, then only this could translate into a human capital or a skilled human capital. A mere increase in income does not automatically translate into human capital. There is a word automatically. Indirectly, over a longer period of time, that things might have their certain chain things that may cause it to happen slowly. But the direct or automatic change is brought into by giving investment into education, into the health sector of economy. So by that only you can automatically translate human into a skilled human capital. Moving toward the next MCQ. Next MCQ will bring about the concept of what is economic activity. I have given you two statements and you have to tell in which statement the economic activity is going on. Statement number 1, there is a farmer producing crop for self-consumption. Statement number 2 says a father is teaching to his son or daughter. So which of these is the right answer? Option A, one only. The statement number 1 is only right. Option number B says second is only right statement, whereas C says that both the statements are right, and D says neither one neither two, both are the false statement. So which of these two statements are the economic activity? I will suggest you to pause the video as we are moving forward to the right answer, and the right answer is neither one neither two. Why? In order to understand this, we must understand economic activities. What are these economic activities? So, wherever there is either production or exchange or selling of goods and services, which is out of money, you get in exchange money, only then that particular thing can be termed as economic activity. Other than that, it cannot be termed as economic activity. While in first statement there is a farmer that is growing crop for his own consumption, he is not selling to anyone, he is not getting any money in return, so it cannot be termed as economic activity. And what we call such type of production, there is a particular word, subsistence farming, and majority in India it is done only here, that most of the farmers are subsistence farmer. that what we do, they only produce that much amount of production or that much amount of crop that is only sufficient enough to feed them, because most of the farmers do not have big land holdings, so they are only able to produce enough for themselves, not for the markets. So this type of farming is known as subsistence farming. Whereas in the second activity you are seeing, a father is teaching his son or a daughter. It's out of love, it is out of care, it is out of even worry about the future of that particular child. But that father is not getting any amount in return, any money in return. So this activity cannot be termed as economic activity, because what we have learned, the basics to discriminate between any two activity, that whether that activity is economic activity or not, that person should get monetary benefit for carrying out that good or service. And here the father do not get any monetary benefit, and this activity is out of care only. So this cannot be termed as economic activity. Moving forward toward the next MCQ. Next MCQ is, in Indian context, which is the most labor absorbing sector? So the concept associated with this MCQ is sector of economics, or we can say sector of economy. So the option available are, you have four options. First option is agriculture, second option is manufacturing, third is the service, while the fourth is MSME. So you have to choose between these options, that which option or which sector employs most labor, or we can say not employ, most labor absorbing sector, which is most labor intensive sector. There is a difference between intensive and employing sector. Employing can be a separate sector, but which sector, which industry require more labor for working? And the options are agriculture, manufacturing, service, and MSME. So the right answer, I will suggest you to pause the video and answer the right answer of whatever answer you know, and we are moving forward with the right answer. And right answer is agriculture. Agriculture is the one sector which is most labor intensive also, and most employing sector of the economy. According to 2019 data, approx 43.21 something approx person are employed directly or indirectly in the agriculture sector. So it's not only the most labor intensive sector, but also most employing sector of the economy. And in economy, majorly there are three sectors. First is the primary sector, second is the secondary sector, and third is the tertiary sector. So about the first in the primary sector, that inputs which are derived in it out of nature, like mining, like agriculture, and the product of these sector is used in the secondary sector. Secondary sector, we can say it's the manufacturing sector, which use the inputs of the output of the primary sector and convert these output into the finished product that can be further sold to the final consumer. And third sector is the service sector. This sector facilitates these two sectors in the economy and render the services. And this sector is also one of the most revenue generating sector of the economy in India. So these are the three sectors in which the Indian economy is divided. Moving forward, the agriculture is the most labor absorbing sector of the economy, as I told you. And the next MCQ, which will be the quiz for you, and you have to answer the right answer or the answer that you know about it, and the right answer will be told to you in the next video series. So question is related with the food security, and the statements are: enough food is available. Second statement is all persons have the capacity to buy food of acceptable quality. And the third statement is there is no barrier on access to food. And you have to choose the right statement from given above options. And the option available to you is A, 1 only, B, 1 and 3 only, C, 2 and 3 only, D, 1, 2 and 3 only. Comment down the answer, and the right answer will be told to you in next video series, that will be the set 2 of economics. If a quick reminder of you all that we have started along with the economics, the polity series also, the economics series also, and Various important case studies will be covered by Devesh sir, while geography will be created by the Gyas sir, and polity will be covered by the Hardik sir. And very soon I will be coming with the complete pre-lecture series for economics that will have 40 plus video lecture along with the 300 plus MCQ series. So that's all for this video. Stay home, stay safe, and a quick reminder for the newcomers which are watching this for the first time, do subscribe this channel and press the bell icon for regular update. And if you want the PDF of this lecture, you can join our Telegram channel as well as our Instagram, where we post regularly MCQs and you can play that. If you have any doubt even after that, you can comment it down. We will answer you in the comment section. Thank you.